Yeah, right. We got our history lesson of the night.
Did you light candles? Did you do it?
And there we go. Jay has put into to our chat box for all those who are interested before we begin our Shabbat services to read up on Joey Bishop. It's wonderful to be together on this Shabbat for those in a room with us and those online, and to end this week together and to step into the space of relaxation, of joy, and of peace that is our Shabbat together. Before we can get there, we have to daven our mincha service. We have to finish off our week. So we'll begin together on page 1. Nidai dai, yadai dai, idai nandai dai 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 dai, yidan da 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 da, hi da 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 da, hi da da da, ashrei yoshvei. Ashrei yoshvei veitecha, Ashrei yoshvei veitecha, odi halelucha, selah. Ashrei am, Ashrei am shekachalo, Ashrei am she'Adonai Elohai. Tehillat Adonai Yedaber pi Mivarech kol basar Shem kodsho le'olam va'ed V'anachnu nevarech ya Me'ata v'yad olam V'anachnu nevarech ya Me'ata v'yad olam. Hallelujah. Rise together in body or in spirit for the Amidah, beginning on page 3b. Begin together with the words on that page aloud, skipping over the Kedusha on page 4, and then continuing silently from page 5 through page 9. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avoteinu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות, ומביא גואל לפני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ופוקד ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ופוקד שרה, אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה מתים אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים וחסד, מחיה מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומדו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות מתים, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים. אתה קדוש שמך קדוש קודשים בכל יום יוחסד, ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. Do do ya bum bum, ya da da ya bum bum bye bye, ya di dum ba da ya bye, an da di da da da, ay, oh say shalom. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yase shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Nidai dai, ya bye bye, ya la la ya da da ya bum bum bye bye. Ya na na da 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 ya bye, na da di da da da, ay da da. We continue with the Aleinu, page 11. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, lateit gedula leotze breishi, shelo asanu kuyei haratzot, ולא שמענו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אינו, דמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום, להשיב אותה אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא אלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת, אינו דרכי דגלך. לתקן למלכות שדי, ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו echad. Invite those who are in mourning or observing yahrzeit to rise in body or in spirit as we enable our microphones in support of those mourners for the Mourners Kaddish on page 12. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, Le'alma divra kirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'vyomechon u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, b'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach le'halam omei omeyah. Yiparach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitzadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudsha b'lichu Eila mikol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amirana be'alma v'yimru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom bimroma, uyaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen.
Shabbat shalom, everybody. Welcome to our service. It's such an honor to be with you all. We have a few people in our room. Glad to have you with us as well. And Damon, thank you for keeping us on track tonight. So we always appreciate your work. We're going to be stepping into Kabbalat Shabbat. And one of the themes that we're going to talk a little bit about tonight with our comments, with some of the ideas, is this idea of gathering and departing from each other. Because we've been in that constant state. We've been in a state where we are departing from each other, we're separating, getting further away, and now we're in this new state of trying to get closer together and spending more time together. What it means to gather, what it means to collect. Our Parsha speaks to that as well. We talk about the different conditions that should separate you from the holiness that's taking place in the sanctuary. The different ways that you would be set apart, not because of anything necessarily bad you did, but because there are times in our life where we are more distant and we are more close at other times. So something to think about when we're in this space where we're going to invite the angels to join us. What are we inviting them into? What space are we inviting them to? There's a bit of homelessness we sort of feel, right? Since we're not gathering together, or haven't been for a while, we're kind of nomadic again, even in this space, right? We're moving from our sanctuary or from our chapel to our social hall. Then we'll be back in our chapel in just a week or two. We're not yet back into our sanctuary, but that's going to be another incredible move when we get that opportunity. But it's more than just how we collect together. It's also about the space in which we fill and what we fill it with. Had a great meeting today. I went to go see a family I haven't seen in a while. I've been trying to keep up with them, but they're kind of shut in their home, so they don't get out very much. And they don't do much with the technology, or at least two-way technology like we're so blessed to have here. So I can't really see them very often. So I had a great opportunity this afternoon to go see them. And it was so sweet. I don't get this very often, but they had like a little sweets buffet set out for me. I didn't have the heart to tell them I don't eat any of that. But I just was, did the whole like, I just ate, But it was so sweet and it's so nice. And they started asking me about the synagogue. How's it going? And I said, well, we're sanctuaries under renovation. And they said, oh, tell us what's going to happen in there. So I told them about a flattened floor. I told them about a new roof design. I told them about a lower bima. And right then he stopped me and he said, lower bima? Like, what do you mean? Like there's going to be a prayer space in the center of the room? And I said, well, yeah, that's what we're planning on doing. It's what we've done for the high holidays, except this will be permanent, so it won't be as rickety as it been in the first place. And he just immediately went into, oh, that's the way it was back in Washington Street when I used to go to synagogue back there and was in the choir. And he bursted, this man with like a walker who can't even really get up on his own, bursted into incredible high holiday Hazen singing. And I was blessed to have the wherewithal to have my phone with me, and I recorded him. So if you catch me sometime during the week, I'm happy to share it with you because it was just wonderful. But that's what space evoked for him. And the idea of coming back into space, especially a space that, just the description of it touched him back to his childhood, when he was a child and in a choir at the AA synagogue. How long ago was Washington Street? 80 years ago? Just really unbelievable. And the fact that he was able to go into the high holiday melodies with the words, I don't think I could do that. He really, really knew his stuff. But that's what gathering, that's what space does for us, and the spaces that we sit in, the spaces that we stay in. So as we're walking our way into Kabbalat Shabbat, and we're inviting the angels, and we're inviting ourselves and our spirit and our soul, and maybe even the Neshama Yetera, the second soul that we get on Shabbat, I want us to think about the spaces, the way we gather, being together, what it means in the way we're together right now, and then also what do we hope for the week to come, for the months to come, and dare I say the year to come, in the way in which we're going to gather together, and what that space, being together, is going to evoke for us. Well, we begin page 13? Yeah, page 13, Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Sharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Malachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Mochem leshalom, malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mi melech, malachei malachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Malchuni leshalom, malachei hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Malachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yitzirchem leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Malachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. As we think about that space, we think about those people who fill up our spaces with us, who we so long to be back together with. So we'll pray together Yedid Nefesh tonight on page 14. Yedid Nefesh Avarachamad Mishochav El Ritzonach Yarutz Avdach Kimo Ayal Ishtachaveh El Moradarach Yeraplo Yedidutach Minof Etzuf Vechotam Adonai Ziv haolam nafshi cholat avatach Anna elna rifana la beharola no amezivach Az titchazek v'titrapei v'haitalach shivchat olam v'tikemu rachamecha chusna על בנו אבך. כי זה כמה נכסוף נכסף, לירו בתפארת וזך. אנא אלי מחמד ליבי, חושנה ואל תתעלם. יגלנה ופרוס חביב עלי את סוכת שלומך. תאיר ארץ מכבודך, נגילה ונשמחה בך. מהר אהוב כי במועד, וכונני כי מעולם. ידידיי לה 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 ידידיי, ידידיי לה 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 ידידיי לה, ידידיי לה לה לה, ידידיי לה לה, ידידיי לה 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 יממי ביי, ידידיי לה לה, ידידיי לה לה, ידידיי לה לה יממי ביי ביי, ידידיי לה לה, ידידיי לה לה. Lan mai dai no dai dai dai, ay dai dai dai, yidi dai 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 dai, yidi dai dai dai, yidi dai 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 dai, yidi dai dai dai, yidi dai dai dai, ay dai 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 dai, yidi dai dai dai, yidi dai dai dai, yidi dai dai dai. Hi dai 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 hi dai. Page 15. Lechu neranina ladonai naharia litzori sheinu nekadma fanav betoda bizmirot narialo yedida ida ida yedida ida ida yedida ida na yedida ida ida yedida ida 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 yedida ida ida yedida ida ida yedida ida ida. Oh, page 16, Shiru Ladonai. Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Baruch Shemo, Basru Meyom Yeyom Yeshuato, Sapru Vagoyim Kevodo, B'chol Ha'amim Nifleotav, Ki Gadol Adonai, Umulal Meod, Norahu, Ale Kol Elohim Aidai, Ki Kol Elohe Ha'amim Elilim, Va'adonai Shamayim Asa, Od ve'hada lefanav, וזבתפארת במקדשו. הבו לאדוני משפחות עמים, הבו לאדוני כבוד ועוז, הבו לאדוני כבוד שמו. שאו מנחה ובואו לחצרותיו, השתחוו לאדוני בהדרת קודש, חילו מפניו כל הארץ. אמרו בגויים אדוני מלך, אף תיכון תבל בעל תימות. ידין עמים במישרים, ישמחו השמים ותגל הארץ. ירם הים ומלוא יעלו שדי, וכל אשר בו אז ירננו כל עצי לפני אדוני קיווה לשבות הארץ, ישבות תבל בצדק, ועמים באמונתו. ימד ימד יבבבבב ידדה 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 יamba yababa yababa yamba yadada hayidida yada.
When we turn to page 17, one of my favorite lines appears. Anan v'arafel savivav tzedek u'mishpat michon kiso. God's throne is founded in justice, though God be clouded from view. The translation's kind of weird because it's backwards. A cloud and storm surrounds him. Anan v'rafel savivav surround him. Tzedek u'mishpat, justice and righteousness are the foundation of his chair. And I just think it's a beautiful image. It's really an incredible image when you think about God. And one of the things it makes me think of when we're talking now about gathering together is, what are you surrounded by? We expect that a crowd of people that we gather with, though that is what will surround us. But truthfully, there's something more that surrounds us. Something about our spirit, something about our soul, our aura. I mean, you can call it all different types of things. But that's the real thing that surrounds us. And when we come into a place, we fill the place, we help to fill the place with our aura and the aura of the other people who are with us. And so it behooves us to think carefully about who we invite into our life and in the people that we bring into our space. But we also have to be conscious about what we bring into that space, that place that we gather together. What is it that we're bringing with us? Because we aren't a tabula rasa. We're not a blank slate when we walk into the place. We bring our joy, we bring our sadness, we bring our conflict, we bring our peace. So what is it exactly? What is the anan va'arafel savivav that we are surrounded with? What is the storm? What is the cloud that surrounds us? And how can we strip it away so that we could truly see what is the foundation of our seat? If God is tzedek u'mishpat, is justice and righteousness, could ours be compassion and love? Could ours be hope and virtue? Could ours be, what could ours be? What could it be that is our foundation that we surround ourselves with? I've recently stopped some of the habits I had, and now I have to get my kids out of the habit because I started it. So when I'm around the house and I'm doing the dishes, or I'm making something for lunch or whatever it is, I'll listen to things on my phone. I'll play my phone and it'll play YouTube or it'll play a podcast. And I found that there were two things I was falling into. I was listening to a podcast usually having to do with the news, or I was listening to stand-up comedy. And I have a wide range of stand-up comedy that I like to listen to. What I found is that all of that in some way, the news is definitely, I've talked at nauseum about what I think of the news, right? But the stand-up comedy I was finding was really quite bitter. It was doing it in a funny way, but ultimately, Brooke once pointed out to me that she says, you listen to all the comedy, I never hear you laugh. And I'd have to say, well, I'm laughing on the inside. But really what I was doing was I was engaging in listening, and the puzzling things about society, about relationships, or whatever it was they were using as their punchline, I was going into deeper conversation in myself that was causing me to be cynical and bitter, and find relationships to be a joke, and find life situations to be just a joke in the worst way. And so what I was finding is when I was entering into places, I was bringing that with me. I was bringing that was the cloud, that was the storm that was swirling around me. So I recently gave it up, last 2 months or so. And now I'm listening to an awful lot of classical music, which I'm not an expert in. So if you have recommendations that I should listen to, I'm getting bored with the ones that I've just been listening to. I listen to the big hits, and Spotify just keeps playing the same thing over and over again. So if you have recommendations for me, let me know. But while you're sending that to me, I want to send to you the question, what are you sitting with? What is the storm that is around you? And when we gather together, are you sure that's the energy you want to bring? Do you want to share that storm with others, or would you rather expose them to what it is, the foundation of your being, that you'd like to share with the gathering that we collect together? Page 17, Adonai Malach.
Adonai Malach tagel haaretz, yismechu im rabbi. Anan ve'arafel seviva. Tzedek u'mishpat mechon kiso. Anan ve'arafel seviva. Tzedek u'mishpat mechon kiso. לפניו תלך ותלעט סביב צריו. לפניו תלך ותלעט סביב צריו. ענן וערפל סביביו. צדק ומשפט מכון כיסו. ענן וערפל סביביו. צדק ומשפט מכון כיסו. לפניו תלך ותלעט סביב צריו. 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 הירו ורקב דבר אתה בתחלת. אישה ונשמעת כי אתה עוז הרוח לצדיק Ulishrei lev simcha. Or zarua latzadik. Ulishrei lev simcha. Or zarua latzadik. Ulishrei lev simcha. Ulishrei lev simcha. Or zarua tzaddik u'yishrei lev simcha. U'yishrei lev simcha. Yada da 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 da. Yada da yada da. Simchu tzadikim b'Adonai v'hodu lezecher kodsho. Mizmor shir l'Adonai shir chadash ki niflaot asa Hoshia lo yimino uzro kodsho. Page 18. Hoshia Adonai Yeshuato l'nego milatzit kato v'zachar chasov v'medol v'Yisrael. Hey yiru l'Adonai kulat spitzchu v'radnen v'zamer v'zanai v'zanai. לפני אדוני קיווה לשפוט הארץ, ישפוט תבל בצדק, ועמים במישרים. אדוני מלך יגזו עמים, יושב קרובים תנות הארץ, אדוני בציון גדול ורמקו על כל העמים. Page 19. ידעו שמך גדול הקדוש הוא ובזמך משעת רבנו ישתחו רממו אדוני אלוהינו וישתחו לקודשו כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו. We rise, page 24, Psalm 29. מזמור לדוד, הבו לאדוני בני לי, הבו לאדוני, כבוד ועוז ידי, הבו לאדוני, כבוד שמו ישתחוו לאדוני, בהדרת קודש, כל אדוני על המים, אל הכבוד ירים. אדוני על מים רבים, כל אדוני בכוח ידי, כל אדוני בהדר, כל אדוני שובר ארזים, וישבר אדוני את ארזי הלבנון, וירקידם כמו עגל לבנון, וסיריון כמו ואין ראה ממעידי, כל אדוני חוצב לבוט איש, כל אדוני יכיל מדבר, יכיל אדוני מדבר קדיש, כל אדוני יכול לילות, ויחשוף ירוד ובהיכלו כולו מכבוד ידי, אדוני למבול ישב, ישב אדוני מלך לעולם, Adonai os le'amo yitain Adonai varech damo v'shalom dididai dididai dai bye 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 dididam bye 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 dididai dai 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 dididai dai dai dai. We're seated at bottom of page 20. As we lift up our voices, An bechoach gedulat yamincha tatir tzerura. God, whose mighty hand makes nations free, release all captives, hear our humble plea. We use this prayer tonight as we pray for shalom, for Shabbat of shalom, a Shabbat of peace for all those around the world, and especially for those in Ukraine, for those in Israel who have had a hard week after a few terrorist incidents. We pray for peace in the world. Anna bechoach bechoach yedulad yemincha yemincha tatir tzerura kaper inatamcha sagevenu tarenu nora Anna bechoach bechoach gedulad yemincha yemincha tatir tzerura kaber inatamcha sagevenu tarenu nora Anna bechoach gedulad yemincha tatir tzerura kaberina rina damecha sagvenu tarenu nora yedidai dai yedidai dai yedidai dai yedidai dai Yedidai dai dai, yedidai dai dai, yedidai dai dai, yedidai dai dai. Page 21. We welcome in Shabbat into our spaces, bringing up that holiness, bringing joy of being together, bringing in whatever our intention is for our Shabbat today. However we answered that question that Rabbi Rosenthal posed earlier, what are we bringing into our spaces? Lecha doti likrat kala Pene Shabbat nekabla lecha dodi likrat kala Pene Shabbat nekabla Shama v'zachor b'dibur echad Ishmi'anu el hamiuchad Adonai echad U'shemo echad Le'shem ultiferet Ve'litila Lecha dodi likra kala Pene Shabbat nekabla lecha dodi likra kala Pene Shabbat nekabla Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nilcha Ki mekor habiracha Merosh mikadem nesucha sof maaseh b'machshava techila lecha dodi likra kala pene Shabbat nekabla lecha dodi לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. מקדש מלך עיר מלוכה, קומי צאי מתוך ההפכה. רב לך שבט בעמק הבכה, והוא יחמול עלייך חמלה. לחד הודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. לחד הודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. הנערי מעפר קומי, לבשי בגדי תפארתך עמי. על יד בן ישי בית הלחמי, קרבה אל נפשי גאלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך ומי אורי. אורי אורי שידברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה יבבי 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 פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה יבבי 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 פני שבת נקבלה. לא תבושי ולא תקמי, מה תשתוכחי ומה תהמי. בך יכסו עניי עמי, ונבנתה עיר אצילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה יבבי 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 פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה יבבי 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 פני שבת נקבלה. והיו למשיסה שוסייך, ורחקו כל מבלייך. יסיס עלייך אלוהיך, כמסוס חתן חתן על כלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה יבבי 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 פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה יבבי 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 פני שבת נקבלה. ימין ושמאל תפרוצי, ואת אדוני תריצי. על יד איש בן פרצי, ונשמחה ונגילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה יבבי 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 פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה יבבי 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 פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה. תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה יבבי 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 פני שבת נקבלה. Lecha dodi likrat kala yebabai 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 b'nei Shabbat nikabela. As we fully enter into Shabbat, we welcome in those mourners who have lost loved ones in this past week. And so we welcome in the family of Sandra Adair, mother of Andre and Mark, Doug and Andrew. And we welcome in the family of Marvin Silverman, the cousin of Shirley Rich. We pray that during these hard times, that it's the support of the community like this one that helps you to get through and helps to sustain you. We say the words together as a community to comfort those in mourning at the bottom of page 22. Hamakom yenachem etchem betoch sha'arav lei Tzion v'Yerushalayim. May the Holy Blessed One comfort those who are in mourning among the mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. We'll continue on page 23 with Psalm 92. Mizmor shile yom ha-Shabbat Toleh Adonai u'zamer l'shimcha lion Le'agid b'boker chastecha Ve'emunatcha b'lilut L'sem lev K'mitzvah v'achal v'seidecha Nimagol v'zom Techa yesh b'nei Tzadikatam arifrach Ke'erez ba'levanon Yizkeh Shetulim Meveit Adonai Bechatzrot Eloheinu Yafrichu Odinu avun b'seiva Tishenim v'rananim Lehagid ki ashar Adonai tzuri melo avalatabo. Adonai malach lavish lavish Adonai ozit azar aptikon devel ba'adimot page 24 nachon ki zachameyaz milamata nasunerot kolam yisunerot tuchim mikol hamayim rabim adirim mishfereyam adim marom Adonai Edotecha nemnu meod levidchana v'kodesh Adonai leorech yamim. We invite those who are in mourning or observing yard sight to rise in body or in spirit as we enable our microphones for Kaddish Yatom in the middle of page 24. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah Ve'alma divra kilutei v'yamich malchutei B'chayachon u'yomechon Hayei d'chol Beit Yisrael Magala u'vizman kari v'imru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach Ne'alam omei omaya Yiparach v'yishtabach Yipa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalah Shemei d'kudsha b'richu Eila min kol birchata v'shirata Ushbechata v'nechemata Shamiran Be'ama V'Yimru. Amen.
Amen.
Yehi Shlama Rabba V'Yim Shemaya. V'chaim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'Yimru. Amen. Ze Shalom Bibrama. Hu Yaseh Shalom. Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'Yimru. Amen.
As we enter into Shabbat, there is the parable, the mashal, that speaks about the queen who is figuring out which daughter to leave her kingdom to. And they're all worthy, they're all smart, they're all capable. But she wants to see which one's soul will really serve the people in the way that she would like the kingdom to be led. So she puts a test to all three. She gives them a dark, dingy room in the palace, a place where very few people go. And she says to them, to all three, we're going to give you each a room similar, these three rooms next to each other. And your job is to fill it. Fill it with something. And of course, the first comes and fills it with boulders, and the queen comes to look and says, well, that is full, but there's still quite a bit of space in between. The next one comes, fills it, next room with sand. And the queen comes and says, well, that is full, but as I open the door, the sand just pours on out, and it becomes less filled. The last one, she opens up the door to see what the last daughter has offered, and there's just candles in the middle of the room emitting beautiful light. And the room was truly filled with something greater than boulders or sand, but with light. She realized that this daughter was going to be the one to bring light into the world. That's how she would lead her kingdom. And so in a similar way, we light our candles with the hope that the light that we put forward will fill up the world with something greater than the strength of boulders or the suffocatingness of the sand, but instead with light from our heart and from our soul. So it's our honor to have our princess, Linda Lippett, to offer our candle lighting tonight.
Baruch Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik shel Shabbat.
And thank you, Linda, for helping bring a little light into our Shabbat together. As we move into our Mariv service, where we take all of that energy, all of that light, all of the song and harmony and melody that we've built up over the course of our service, we begin to take it inside of ourselves as we prepare ourselves for an encounter with something greater than ourselves. Or maybe for the first time being with ourselves this week. We begin together in the middle of page 28. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bibero mariv aravim b'chokhma poteach she'arim u'vina meshana yitim u'machliv et zmanim u'seder et kochavim u'shvatzei yamekia kirtzono riyum v'layla koro mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני המעריב ערבים. אהבת עולם בית ישראל, עמך אהבת. page 29, תורה ומצוות, כי משפטים אתה לימדת. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגע יומם ולילה, ויבטך אל תשמימנו לעולמים. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. We say together the Shema, page 30, El Melech Ne'eman. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, והיה עם שמו Adonai Elohechem Emed, Emed ve'emunah kol zot v'kayem aleinu. Page 32. Ki Adonai Eloheinu means ומלכותו ברצון קיבלו עליהם משה ובני ישראל, לחנו שירה בשמחה רבה ואמרו כולם, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות וספר מלכותך ובניך. בוקר לפני משה זה אלינו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. We read together the words of the Hashkivenu at the bottom of page 33 on the left-hand side of the page. Creator of peace, compassionate God, guide us to a covenant of peace with all your creatures, birds and beasts, as well as all humanity, a reflection of your image of compassion and peace. Give us strength to help sustain your promised covenant, abolishing blind strife and bloody warfare, so they will no longer devastate the earth, so discord will no longer tear us asunder. Then all that is savage and brutal will vanish, and we shall fear evil no more. Guard our coming and our going, now toward waking, now toward sleep, always within your tranquil shelter. Beloved are you, sovereign of peace, whose embrace encompasses Jerusalem, the people Israel, and all humanity. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, Baruch atah Adonai, הפורש סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים. We rise for V'shamru, page 34, in body or in spirit. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ידידי בני ובן בני ישראל אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש. We take a few moments of private meditation as we offer the words of the Amidah, beginning on page 35 through page 38. We're taking a few moments to conjure up and to sit in that peace of the Shabbat. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru. Amen. We invite you, if you'd like to join us for Kiddush, to grab some wine or some grape juice as we begin at the first paragraph of page 47, and then we'll jump to page 49 to complete our Kiddush. ויחולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם, ויחל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישבות ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה, ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי, ויקדש אותו, כי בו שווה מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. סברי חבריי, ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא פרי הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו מצוותיו ורצוונו, בשבת קודשו מאהבה וברצון הנחילנו, זיכרון למעשה וראשית. כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאה מצרים. כי באנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת, מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך, באהבה וברצון, הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש השבת. Continue rising in body or in spirit for Aleinu, page 51. Aleinu לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם. אנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. שומדי שמיים וארץ ושמיים ואלוהינו ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו echad.
We note with great sadness, as was noted earlier, this week we suffered the loss of Sandra Adair, mother to Andre and to Mark, to Douglas and to Andrew. Also Marvin Silverman, the loved one of Shirley Rich. We pray that these families get the care and love that they need during this time. We also note the continuing Shloshim period, 30 days after passing. For Evelyn Alexander, mother to Kenneth and Glenda, to Gary and Sam. Michael Blass, father to Jared and Karen, Kimberly and Gray, Tammy and John, brother to Renee and Alan, to Debbie and Eddie. Harriet Parness, mother to Alan and Angela, Michelle, and to Gary Parness. Sharon Hamburger, wife of Steve, mother to Mitch and Allison, to Mindy and Rodney, a sister to Cookie and Fred Aftergut. Morris Habiff, father to Larry, Michael, Gail, Valerie, Neil, Marlene, and Mark, Nancy, and Scott, and Claire Karish, the mother to Jeff and Jill Vantosh, and to Stuart Karish. We also note the yurtzites on this, the 1st of Nisan, for Bernice Torren Alter, mother to Jill Siegel, sister to Charles Shanker, Penny Catherine, mother to Julia Bernath, Albert Finkel, brother-in-law to Judy Finkel, Harry Samuel Herman, father to Harriet Oxman, Helen Silver Kuniansky, mother to David Kuniansky, Ida Marmer, mother to Bob Marmer, Hyman Morris, uncle to Mildred Quatnitz, Rose Morris, the aunt of Mildred Quatnitz, Jerome Oxman, the brother-in-law to Harriet Oxman. We also continue to walk with those who come morning and evening, remembering Steve Marcus, Carol Wexler, Harris Pavlat, Pauline Cohen, Dan Melnick, John Sherman McDade, Rose Berman, Bella Haya Batsari, Demetrius Coffey, Steve Wexler, Mike Schaefer, Walter Hirschberg, Eleanor Sims, Ralph Sachs, Kathy Baumgartner Shear, Arnold Landy, Rick Goldstein, Doris Copland, Susan Pollock, Mary Goldstein, Leon Goldstein, Lester Breen, Bruce Romer, Susan Levine Open, Hiram Sturm, Jerry Ashkenazi, Cerise Rubin, Jules Stone, Dale Schindler, Steve Sandusky, Dorothy Eisen, Stanley Kolotkin, Malcolm Mintz, Claire Kirschenbaum, Donald Gilner, Baruch Ben Eliezer, Rosalind Davidson, Rena Bat Yaakov. And if I've missed any names, please forgive me. But know that we walk with you. We hold you during this time as you remember your loved ones, joining with us in the call and response of the Mourner's Cottage, page 52. Yit Gadal, V'yit Gadash, Shemei Rabbah, Yomad Yivra Kirutei, V'yamlich Malchutei, V'chayachon of Yomeichon, V'chayei the whole Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala, U'bizman Kariv, V'yimru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevorach, Le'olam U'mei U'maya. Yiparach, V'yishtabach, V'yipa'ar, V'yitromam, V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitalal, Shmei Dekudashah B'rechu, Le'ela Minkol Birchata V'shirata, Tush B'chata V'nechamata, Da'amiran Be'alma V'yimru, Amen. Yehesh Lama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chaim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael, V'yimru, Amen. Oseh Shalom b'imulav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, b'yimru, amen. Shabbat shalom, everybody. Thank you, Rabbi Blesson, for leading us beautifully this evening. To Damon, thank you so much for all your work tonight. To those who joined us in person, and also, of course, everybody online, thank you for being with us. A lot is going on at the synagogue. Things continue to rev up as we continue forward. So please make sure you're looking at the new and improved e-blast. It comes out on Thursdays. It's hopefully you're finding it meaningful. I sure am. It's a really wonderful opportunity to see and hear from members of our community as they post videos that are there and all different types of information. So there's lots there, so do please pay attention. Synagogue retreat is coming up. The deadline for the synagogue retreat is coming up, so please sign up. We really want you there. It's going to be at Ramah Darom, the May 6th through the 8th. It's going to be great, so please come and be part of that.
2 weeks to register.
2 weeks left to
2 weeks
register.
left.
2 weeks left, so
15th.
please do register. If you're on the fence, give us a call and let us push you over, because we want you there. So please, please, please. We also have the Moxor that we need you to get your purchase of that in for the high holidays. I know you're probably saying, we're not even at Passover yet, and you're already talking about the high holidays, but it's going to take time to ship them. It's going to take time for Jill Rosner in our office to get them all set up ready for you and our congregation. So please, please, please make sure that you are ordering that. You can find that online. You could also call the office and we can get you that book. Passover is 2 weeks away. 2 more weeks to eat all the chametz in your house. So go through the freezer, get all those single slices of bread that you left in there since you didn't want to eat the last piece. You got to go through it. Please get that done. You need to sell your chametz to the synagogue, so please get that done. I think the deadline there is Friday the 15th, but don't wait. Why wait? Just go online. You could find the sales slip for that. You could also come into the synagogue and fill out the form. If you got the beautiful benenu that I hope you've all seen and pined over, there is in the very back, there is a cutout selling chametz form that you could mail into the synagogue or drive it in, whatever you want to do. So please take care of that ASAP. Oh, so many things I can't even think of it more, right? Anything else? Is that good? Perfect. Okay, I got Gary Olympic is here, our executive vice president. He's been doing a tremendous amount lately. So if he says those announcements were perfect, we'll end it. Let's conclude our service with Yigdal. I'll see you all tomorrow morning at 9:30.
יגדל אלוהים חי וישתבח נמצא ואין עד המציאותו אחד ואין יחיד כי ייחודו נעלם וגם אין סוף לאחדותו אין לו דמות הגוף ואינו גוף לא נערוך אליו קדושתו קדמון לכל דבר אשר נברא, ראשון ואין ראשית לראשיתו. הינו אדון עולם וכל נוצר, יורה גדולתו ומלכותו, שפע נבואתו נתנו, אל אנשי סגולתו ותפארתו. לא קם בישראל כמו שעוד נביא ומביט את תמונתו תורת אמת נתן להמועל על יד נביאו נאמן ביתו לא יחליף האל ולא ימיר דתו לעולמים לזולתו צופה ויודע סתרנו מביט לסוף דבר וקדמתו גומל לאיש חסד כמפעלו נותן לרשע רע ירישתו ישלח לקץ הימין משיחנו לפדות מחקקי ישועתו מתים יחייל ורוב חסדו ברוך עדי עד שם תהילתו מתים יחייל ברוב חסדו ברוך עדי עד שם תהילתו. Shabbos everyone.
Good Shabbos,
Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbos, everybody.
Shabbos, everyone.
Brother Bill said love all around. Wonderful.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, Mom and Dad.
Mama Jill, I just thank you over and over again. You raised such a good one with this. He's awesome. Thank you.
Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Good Shabbos, Minneapolis Blessings.
Good Shabbos, y'all. Good Shabbos.
Shabbos, everybody.
Marcia.
Yeah, Marcia. Good Shabbos.
Have a good Shabbos, everyone.
Everybody's in.
In the morning.
Shabbos.
In the morning.